So I had this conversation with my coworker, and I thought I'm going to talk about it on Becoming Mirror. So, welcome back to Becoming Mirror, where we're becoming the people we've always prayed and worked to be. Have you ever had money and still felt like you couldn't spend it? Or maybe you grew up hearing things like, we can't afford that, or put that back, or we got food at the house. And now you're grown, you have your own money, and somehow you're still standing in the grocery store doing mental gymnastics over whether you should buy this name brand cereal or not. But technically, you can afford it, but something in your brain is like, girl, absolutely not. And today, of course, we're going to talk about it. So, me and my coworker, we started talking about growing up poor or growing up without a lot of financial security. And he said something that made me like clock it, and maybe it was rude, but I just automatically said, "Did you grow up poor?" And I know I shouldn't have asked it, but anywho, he didn't take offense to it, but that's why I'm coming and bringing this conversation to you guys. So, did you guys know like how much that can affect the way you think as an adult? And it really got me thinking about myself, because when you grow up worrying about money, you learn things. You learn how to stretch a dollar. You learn how to wait. Hell, you learn how to go without. You learn that sometimes if you want something, you better hope there's money for it. And those lessons can help you. I think being responsible with money is important. Saving is important. Planning for retirement is important. Having an emergency fund is important. Let me take these rubber bands out. I may cut this out, but like I told y'all, I'm still new, and that editing takes me a long time. But what happens when being financially responsible turns into being financially afraid? That's where I think things get interesting, because sometimes you leave the environment, but the mindset comes with you. You can finally afford something, but still feel guilty about buying it. You can have money in your savings account and still feel like, I need to save this because what if something happens? And honestly, what if something happens? Like, that's the fear. Because when you've experienced not having enough, your brain learns that money equals safety. So now, more money means more safety. And if I can just save a little bit more, I'll finally feel secure. I'll finally feel safe. But then you save more and more and more, and somehow you still don't feel safe. You might have saved over 2,000, 5,000 in your bank account, and you're scared to spend $50. You might have a retirement account and you still feel like you're not doing enough. You might put something in an online shopping cart and leave it there for 3 weeks, because, y'all, I definitely do that. I have to talk myself into buying it. But you leave it there for 3 weeks, not because you can't afford it, but because you're having a board meeting in your head. And like I just said, like, I go back and forth with myself all the time. And I'm like, do I really need this? What if I need this money later? Could this money be invested in something else? Or should I wait for a sale? Matter of fact, they charging me shipping. I'm not finna buy this. And then I just closed the app. And I don't think that's necessarily bad, but being thoughtful with money is a good thing. I just think we have to ask ourselves, am I making a wise financial decision, or am I operating from fear? Those are two different things. Okay? So then there's the other side. And I actually witnessed this side. But when you grow up without certain things, you can become determined to give your children everything. And I understand that because nobody wants their child to experience the things they experience. You remember asking for something and hearing, we can't afford it. Or when you finally have the money, you might think, my child will never hear that from me. So now they're asking for something and you're buying it. Another toy, sure. Another pair of shoes, okay. Something they saw online, fine, baby, I got you. And I don't think that's always coming from entitlement or because you just got the money. Sometimes, of course, it's coming from love. But sometimes it's also trying to heal your own childhood through your children. Does that make sense? And I'm not an expert, but let's just keep going, okay? And we have to be careful with that because teaching our child that you can buy them anything, sorry, y'all, isn't necessarily teaching them financial security. Sometimes financial security is teaching them, yes, we have the money, but we don't need everything. Sometimes you can say, not today. Sometimes it's just, let's save for it. Sometimes it's, you already have something similar that you don't even play with no more. Because me personally, I don't want my future children to only learn we have enough money to buy it. I want them to also learn we have enough money and we're choosing what to do with it. Let's make a choice. So then, what's the middle ground? We have those two extremes. What's the middle ground? How do we stop living like we're constantly about to lose everything without becoming the person who spends everything because, well, we got it now, you know? We're adults. We can afford it. And before I go any further, I can't tell you what to do with your money because I don't need you telling me what to do with mine. But I am not a finance guru. So please don't come on here asking me where to invest your money. I'm trying to learn where to invest mine. Shit. But anywho, I'm only telling you this from lived experiences and things I've observed. So take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But from my perspective, I think the answer is security and enjoyment. You can save money and spend it. You can invest and take a vacation. You can plan for retirement and buy those shoes. Y'all know I'm a shoe head. I'm a shoe fanatic, sneaker fanatic. Okay? Anyways, you can tell your child no and still give them the nice things. You can have a budget without making yourself miserable. And maybe the goal isn't to stop saving. Of course it's fucking not. We all need that nest egg. But maybe the goal is to stop believing that saving is the only way to feel safe. Because if you're constantly telling yourself, I need more saved, I need more money, I need more security, you're going to spend your whole entire life preparing for a future and forget to actually live in the present. And I don't want that. I want stability. I want to be able to pay my bills. I want to be able to save. I want to be able to invest and take that vacation. But I also want to be able to walk into a grocery store, look at something I want, and buy it without feeling guilty. I want to be able to say, I can afford this, but do I actually want it? Do I actually need it? And is it worth my money? That's a completely different mindset. It's not I can't afford it, and it's not I have money so I'm buying it. It's I have the choice to make the decision between the two. And maybe that's what financial healing looks like. Not becoming someone who doesn't care about money and not becoming someone who is obsessed with money, but becoming someone who understands money is a tool. Money can provide security. Money can provide you options and create opportunities. But money shouldn't be the only thing that makes you feel safe. Because if you grew up without much, you don't have to spend your entire adult life proving that you will never be without it again. You're allowed to have enough. You are allowed to enjoy enough. And you're allowed to believe that tomorrow will be okay, even when you're preparing for it. So I want to give you some questions for the becoming challenge or moment. The next time you're about to spend or not spend, ask yourself, is this a financial decision or an emotional decision? If you're buying something because you feel like you have to prove you can afford it, pause. And if you're refusing to buy something you genuinely want because you're afraid you'll never have the money again, pause and ask, what would a financially secure version of me do? Not the scared version, not the impulsive version, not the version trying to prove something, but the secure version. Because I think that's what I'm learning. I don't want to live like I have nothing when I actually have something. And I don't want to live like I have everything just because I finally have more than I used to. I want the middle. I want the stability, the security, and the freedom. And I want to actually enjoy the life I'm working so hard to build. Because we're not just becoming people with more money, we're becoming people who know what to do with it. So, until next time, keep growing, keep showing up for yourself, and remember, we're not chasing perfection, we're becoming.